What is up, my dudes? Your favorite guys are back. In the last 2 weeks, Kirk Cousins is now a Las Vegas Raider. You like that? And actually signed there. Accidentally became a sprinkle repair influencer like Tim the Toolman on steroids. Jordan dropped some serious cash on a bracelet in Italy, it looks like. And Seth may or may not have dressed up as Yoshi for the Super Mario Galaxy premiere. So, Jordan, you got a bracelet. We get to the bottom of this fashion crime today. Today's episode, we're talking about our favorite Dynasty Darlings and the Leap. And they're going to make that year the guys we're aggressively trying to buy or trade right now. So we are live on YouTube and X. Jordan, you've been in Italy over Easter. What's up with this bracelet? I saw it. You were showing it off on Instagram. Looked like some expensive piece of jewelry. You care to share that with us?
I got hustled.
No, not again.
Yeah, I got straight hustled. It was not my finest moment.
I do not hear Seth. He is muted. He does not know that he's muted. But so explain the hustle to us. Explain
gold
this
at
to
least?
us,
So, no, it's string, Seth.
So was it the finest Italian silk or something?
So I'm walking, and this guy starts talking to me. And he just starts talking, and before I know it, he starts wrapping string around my finger, and he's still talking, and so I was like, so I couldn't really walk away. And then he moves it to my wrist. See, right there, he moves it to my wrist, and at first when he first does it, he goes, free. He goes, it's free for the holy day, you know. And I'm like, okay, because Easter Sunday when this happened, and
okay,
so I'm like, oh, but I'm also like not. He just starts doing it, you know?
Okay.
And then he goes, okay, some money. And I'm like, well, it's the holy day. And I'm just like, okay. But then I opened my wallet and I realized all I had was 4 $50 bills in my wallet. And he goes, I'll give you change. And I'm still half I was just kind of what the heck is going on right now? And so I take the $50 out of my wallet, and he grabs it from me and doesn't give me any change. And
he doesn't run away though?
He's all, give me another one. And I was like, no, I'm not giving you another one. And then he just walked away. And I'm just like, what in the world just happened? And I'm really annoyed because I could have got away with just giving a $5 bill, right? Or a $10 bill, you know?
Well, the thing is, those guys are all thieves. That's what they are.
Yeah. And so
They're
I didn't have
thieves.
Yeah. So I didn't have a smaller bill, and I was looking for the other people there with me, and I could not find anybody. I'm looking and I couldn't see anyone. And the moment the guy walks away, I see them. They're all laughing at me. I see them all laughing at me, and I'm just like, all I needed was a $5 bill, and I could have just got out of that situation pretty scot-free, you know. But all I had was large bills because I took 4 $50 bills and ended up not using any because I used my credit card the whole time. So I never got euros, or I never got
Italy. There's a bunch of people like this, and they always hang out at the touristy areas, right? And the cops.
Yeah, it was at Spanish Steps. I was at Spanish Steps.
The cops hate these guys. So if there's a cop around, he would have totally scared this guy off. They hate these guys. They're out there just to be scammers. Jordan, honestly, it's a little embarrassing, but at the same time, I can understand it.
Well, it just kind of happened, and honestly, it's my fault. If I would have had smaller bills, I would have given him a 5 and walked away, and it would have been no problem, right?
You got put in a bad situation. This is exactly what this guy was like. This is great. He got a $50 bill for some string.
And Jordan, the problem was that show the bracelet, Jordan. Yeah. What up, Jesta, dude?
The problem is that
let me blow you up there.
This is the problem. The problem is that I should have walked away from the beginning, but then the moment he put the string on my wrist, I was just like, well, how do I not give him? I was just I don't know. And it was Easter, and at the end of the day, the guy obviously it was my good Easter deed. The guy obviously needed the money way more than I did. So it is what it is.
Bill is obsessed with some questions here. I don't know if we're going to answer those or
no,
not.
He was not.
But But
He honestly looked like
anyways,
Spanish. But
yeah, it reminds me of a tweet I sent out today. I said, I woke up, I said, seems like a great day to spam my Dynasty League with 703 trades. No one should ever question my work ethic ever again. That's basically what happened to Jordan right here. Like the guy just kept throwing them out there. Eventually, one of them hit, like sometimes
trade
guys,
bait.
yeah, sometimes guys accidentally hit accept. And Jordan, that's why we got to send these Dynasty trades out all the time, because sometimes that accept button gets mixed up. You fat finger it, right? And that's kind of what happened. So David Ortiz in the chat saying, I think the guy didn't need the money as much as you, to be honest. Shots fired. Well, if he keeps hustling like that, Jordan, that might not be the dumbest thing that's happened on the pod since we last were on. Okay, we'll get to the Dynasty talk, all that good stuff. So, Jordan, I'm in the process of, I bought a new house. I'm fixing that stuff like that. So there was a faucet, all right, that I had to fix. Okay, and anyways, I took the faucet. I took the faucet. I looked at it.
Jordan?
No,
I looked
haven't.
at it. I'll share the screen here. So I looked at it and I was like, what's the big deal? I will just I will go buy another faucet nozzle and I will replace it. So I go to Ace, I buy a faucet nozzle, sorry. And let me see if I can share this right now. So I'm going to share the
caption of this
screen.
is Holy Elbow. Just remember.
Yeah, it's Holy Elbow. So here it is right here, Jordan. Can you see that on the screen right there? So I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, if I pop that off right there, I can just set the faucet right there. No big deal, no harm, no foul. I get home after I bought the faucet Ace Hardware, and I realized that they broke that riser, and here is the final project. So anyways, if you're on YouTube or X seeing this, so if you look, I don't know if does my arrow pop up on here. Maybe it does a little bit.
Yeah.
So I thought down here that it could just twist on. Anyways, it was broken. So I post this, sent it to a friend of the show, Aaron, said, hey, ask your guys on your Facebook irrigation websites what they think of this. And I absolutely got obliterated, like at least 200 comments on Facebook. One guy said, what'd he say? The Papa Smurf special. Did you use enough glue? Holy elbow. Next time, use more than one elbow. So anyways, it's not like I did this intentionally. It was just the parts I had. So the faucet is fixed. I added a new riser, dug it out less than 24 hours later. It looks totally normal. I would not have bought that faucet, but you guys got to go to YouTube and check this thing out. It is absolutely horrendous. But yeah, what I was working with before was just a elbow like that, and yeah, it was a bad deal. So anyways, it's all fixed. But yeah, I got absolutely obliterated on
guys.
Facebook.
I don't have any embarrassing stories, really. Trent lied about me wearing a Yoshi costume to the Mario movie premiere, so that's not true. I don't have any embarrassing stories though.
He dressed up as Yoshi, but he thought it was a conference, not a movie, so he felt super out of place. So yeah, Jordan, I could send you the link. It's way too many, but yeah, guys just went absolutely on me. Aaron posted it like the post it's even worse how Aaron worded it. He said, what'd he say? He said a customer of mine sent this to me and asked how it looked and if he paid too much money. So it was just all bad right there. So I don't know if there's anything
a little bit.
I got framed a little bit, but it's okay. It's all, irrigation is a battlefield, they say. So Jordan, I think we should have a moment of silence for all those guys who drafted Travis Hunter last year as the 101 in Dynasty football. And I don't think this is an April Fool's joke, but it says the Jaguars officially making Travis Hunter a full-time cornerback. Is that true? Can you confirm that?
I did not see that. I had not.
So
I haven't seen that either.
Maybe I got clickbaited here on X, but I saw that at 4:45. I was driving a forklift at the time, throwing some trash away. So I just saw it right before we got on. So I think that's read what you found.
Let's see. It says Jaguars I'm just seeing who like said it. Which is a recent
This
reports
one's from
indicate the Hunter will
Yahoo.
transition to a full-time cornerback. Yeah.
So, there's guys
I don't
out
see
there.
where the report comes from though. Like where is the report?
Let me do a little bit of fact checking.
But
It
Yahoo
doesn't
says the same thing.
surprise.
I just don't.
I'm doing a little fact checking here, but I think we got to feel bad for. There's a lot of guys who drafted Travis Hunter last year, and now he's only on one side of the ball. You draft him as a two-way player. Now he's only playing defense. It looks like so. That's got to be the biggest story of the day. Sorry, chat's getting a little out of control right now.
It's brutal.
So
Oh,
I'm getting some fact check right now from Grok. So Jordan, I'm surprised you hadn't heard that. I thought maybe you had some like Jaguars beat controller.
So it's rap sheet.
Yeah,
Rap sheet
yeah.
said
I'm
it.
seeing the tweets
So,
accurate.
Yeah.
Man,
It's a rap sheet thing. So like he might still play a little bit of wide receiver, but
not anything though anymore.
yeah.
So I feel bad for everyone who spent draft capital on Travis Hunter to have a wide receiver. He's now only playing defense. Maybe there's some special packages he does and stuff like that, but you aren't going to play a guy in your starting lineup for a gadget player. Like maybe
No.
Like I don't even.
Taysom Hill's worth more than that guy.
Seth, you might be right.
Mm-hmm.
You might be. Taysom Hill's also had more 40-point fantasy games than Bijan Robinson. So, anyways, probably the biggest news I would say of the day, other than it sounds
Dang,
like
I drafted him in one of my leagues.
Did you draft him in a dynasty league or redraft?
Dang.
Hey, Seth, right now, Jordan bought a yarn bracelet. Sometimes guys hit accept, start spamming trades for anything you can get for Travis Hunter. Like I'm talking 3rd round picks. Like you need to go live on the clock. Anything you can get for
also,
Travis Hunter
is this the league that also died too?
Potentially,
this might be the league that
be
died.
That one. It could be. So, anyways, also
I should do that though.
Also, some other stuff looks like I don't think this is going to go anywhere, but DOJ opens antitrust investigation of NFL over TV deals. So,
what was the NFL statement? I never saw the statement that they gave.
They just said, I'm looking for their statement. What I'm seeing, the NFL's media distribution model is most fans and broadcaster friendly in the entire sports entertainment industry. NFL said in statement Thursday, with over 87% of our games on free broadcast television, including 100% of games in markets of competing teams, NFL has for decades put our fans in front and center in how we distribute our content. 2025 was our most viewed since 1989, reflects the strength of NFL's distribution center. I don't know if I'm seeing just a bunch of word salads right now, not seeing anything like that. David is willing to give you $2 and a half pack of marbles and a handshake for Travis Hunter. You might want to take
marbles,
that, Seth.
Not marbles, Trent. Marlboros.
Oh.
Did you really say marbles? Are you kidding me?
He read marbles.
Cigarette. I was talking about the cigarette. Did I just say it wrong?
Yes, you said it wrong.
You said
say
marbles?
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. Guys, if you're listening this late on the podcast, join us on X or YouTube, watch it live, and listen to my reading mistakes. So, I don't know. I hope it goes somewhere. I don't see the NFL losing this one, though, Jordan.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, it won't mean anything.
Yeah, it's
nothing will change.
Nothing will change, unfortunately. Other stuff we got here, guys. Been going 15 minutes. Had some good stuff there. Seth, you didn't do anything like at Easter, like accidentally, like, step on a rotten egg or something, or get shot with a squirt gun. I don't know. You had to have done something stupid since last time recorded. Like, I work for you, for goodness sakes. There's stuff you do every day.
Stuff I do every day. I'm trying to think of something dumb that I did. I don't know. I can't think of one. I mean, I didn't put on I didn't fix PVC pipe screwy. I didn't buy a worthless bracelet for $50. I don't know.
You're
I
on a
mean,
pod with two guys who did stuff like that, though, so that's got to say something about
that's just
yourself.
got to say something about me. Maybe I'm the idiot.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. And then, so I guess we can jump into these, dynasty, guys that we think are going to make that leap, some dynasty darlings, maybe some buy low guys. I think we wrap up this show with a Mount Rushmore app draft, Jordan, like apps on your phone. I think that's I think that's an interesting perspective of technology, and we can kind of see what others value and stuff like that. And I don't know if we set some guardrails of like stuff we can't do, but I think you go to like 4 apps that if you could only have 4 apps on your phone, what would you do? So, and I feel like that might be the most embarrassing thing that Seth has. It might be like Dragonvale or Candy Crush. So Notorious Greelum, hey, saying, hey, don't know who that is, but give us that sub. Seth, I'm going to throw this.
Trent. Not using real name.
Yeah, whatever. Okay.
That is hilarious.
How are we supposed to give you a shout out if you're not using your real name?
Not using real name.
Yeah, give us a sub. We'll give you that shout out. Promise. Like and sub. So we got a couple guys we're going to target here. Jordan, I'll throw this over to you first, and then we'll go from there. Boom. Shout out on the screen. Not using real name. There we go. Jordan? Let's throw this over to you first. Your dynasty buy, dynasty darling. This might have to do with the app, maybe darling. I don't know.
I got Marvin Harrison. I just kind of think like I still believe in his talent. I still believe I think Jacoby Brissett's pretty solid. Like I know that Michael Wilson was the big like guy with Jacoby Brissett last year, along with Trey McBride, obviously. But I mean, maybe this could change in the draft. I don't really see them drafting a wide receiver. I guess I could look at Arizona's depth chart, but I guess it's more about
a receiver.
Yeah, we're talking year 3 for Marvin Harrison Jr. Like I just believe he's so talented. Like it just didn't go away, So it's Kendrick Bourne, I guess they signed. It's just I don't know. I think this I just really think that and he's been so bad the last 2 years that or really disappointed last year, I think, after people thought it was gonna be a breakout year for him. So his last 2 years he's underachieved comparison like to where you're buying him at or where his ADP's been at. So I just think that like you might be able to get him for cheap and you're getting someone who's super talented in a system with a new offensive coach, with a pretty solid pocket passer quarterback. So I don't know. I think he could be a good target this offseason.
Jordan, I like it. And here's what I've been saying. I've been kind of saying this is it would not shock me if like Marvin Harrison Jr. made that like JSN type leap. Like JSN 2 years ago, you could have traded for him for nothing after the season. And huge leap, being a huge, wide receiver. And now you couldn't even trade for Marvin or for JSN. So I actually looked, I put this out on X a few weeks ago and I asked for receipts of what he's going for. Give me a follow on X at TFF Dudes. There's a lot of like late first round picks for Marvin Harrison. This guy, Raymond Hardy, got Marvin Harrison for Trevor Lawrence straight up in a super flex league. This guy got him for a 2027 first round pick. I got this guy traded Marvin Harrison Jr. and DK. What's the guy's name from the Titans?
Shamari DK
and 110. He got rid of Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson in the 107 of this year. So he is getting traded. He doesn't seem that expensive from what I'm seeing. So I think it's worth throwing it out there. I got the receipts to prove it. You guys can check it out right there. This guy traded Marvin Harrison and Travion Henderson for Justin Jefferson straight up. So there are people out there, shipping him around, people who still believe in him. And like I said, it would not shock me if Marvin Harrison ends up being like a top 8 fantasy. Like the talent's there. It's just, can he, surpass
for
Michael
sure.
Wilson? You got Dre McBride there still too. So like there's plenty of stuff of people not believing it altogether. So Seth, I'll throw this over to you now.
Yeah, so I got one of Jordan's guys on his favorite team, Brian Thomas. So Brian Thomas obviously did not have the best year last year, right? But his a rookie, 87 catches, 12, almost 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. So, and then obviously at LSU, he's a stud.
Did we lose Seth there, Jordan?
Yeah, we lost Seth.
We lost him. Gone, but not forgotten. I'm sure he'll be back, or he's coming back here right now. Some trades that I've seen with Brian Thomas Jr. in Dynasty. Jacob Revere sent Ashton Genty for Brian Thomas Jr. in a 2026 1/6. Seems like a solid trade, right?
I don't know
if you're.
Yeah.
So he lost Genty, but he got Brian Thomas and he got the 6th pick
And
of
a
the first
first,
round this year. I feel like that's pretty fair. Seth Suela sent Josh Downs and Roma Dunze for Brian Thomas Jr. and Keon Coleman. Which side would you like better there?
Say it again. So Brian Thomas
and Keon Coleman is who he got. He got rid of Josh Downs and Roma Dunze.
I think I like Dunze downside a little better, but it's close.
Better. It's just, who do you think? I think what it came down to me was, do you like Brian Thomas better, more than both those guys? I know Rome's a big time. I know you.
Yeah, I mean, the Rome's in a good spot with no DJ Moore, so he's kind of. I mean, but I also think Brian Thomas Jr. gets really, like, the Travis Hunter thing helps Brian Thomas Jr. a lot too. So.
And then this guy sent off Brian. He got Brian Thomas Jr. for a 108. That's Dutch Dunn. 313.
Yeah, it's not bad. You just have to think about like what you could get at 8. So I don't know.
Yeah. And then here's just a huge trade. I feel like this guy, Ronnie Huggins, traded Jalen McMillan, the 103, in a 2027 first. He received Jonathan Brooks, Roma Dunze, and Brian Thomas Jr. I think he wins that trade with those two guys, Jordan, with Adunze and Brian Thomas Jr.
He traded a 1-3. Traded a
1-3 and a 27-1. But Adunze and BTJ could be huge assets, though.
Yeah, I mean, it could be for sure. And honestly, Brooks is not dead either. Like, Brooks, there's no Dowdle. Like, he's just competing with Chuba Hubbard for, and like that can, like, we know the coach Canales likes to use multiple running backs. So,
yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. is a guy in Dynasty, from what I'm seeing on X, that a lot of guys are buying, and it's kind of, I feel like there's a lot of upside for what you're getting, especially though. But this is changing with Travis Hunter not playing wide receiver anymore. He could be more expensive now. I think that makes it a little bit better of a seller's market than a buyer's market for Brian Thomas Jr.
I mean, they still have Washington and Myers and Strange. So, I mean, there's still other guys, but yeah.
Yeah. But it's just one less guy there. Seth, did you kind of give everything you wanted to say there? You cut out a little.
Yeah, you guys talked about it a little bit with your, with the drafts or with the trades you guys were talking about. But I just have a feeling that Brian Thomas, I don't know if he's exactly going to have that top 5 finish he had, but I believe he has a chance to be a top 10 receiver. I know that room's stacked a little bit. I've seen some reports that he could be traded, even though the Jaguars are saying they want him around. Obviously, he did get traded. It'd be nice to get him before that. But I still think, if Brian Thomas is at the right area for me, I'm going to draft him. I think it's worth the risk just because of the upside. Like, I talked about this on the pod with Trent a few weeks ago, is like, you're drafting for upside. Like, you're not drafting guys just because they're safe. You're drafting for upside. And I think this is a perfect example of Brian Thomas.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. Seth, your mic is not hooked up right now, by the way. Just letting you know. Throwing it over to me, I think it's a good time. That's what's fun about Dynasty. You can always kind of have stuff going on. It's been doing really well on X right now. Any questions you guys have there? Going from Brian Thomas Jr. and Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm going Man, we had 2 juniors right there. Did you guys plan that?
Yeah. Same third-year wide receivers too. So they're kind of in similar spots.
Keeping it the same there a little bit. I have Kyler Murray, and I just think there's a little bit of unknown here. Is he the starting quarterback? Does anyone think he's the starter, or do you think it's JJ? It's for sure a competition, and I think if you don't know who the quarterback is, I think
JJ
you can get him. You can get him for cheap. You might be able to get him for a throw-in pick. Like there's a little bit of unknown right there, and Kyler Murray has never finished worse than QB 10 on the season when he's played at least 14 games. He averaged 19.4 fantasy points per game over his 87 starts. And so I think with the weapons you have there, you just need someone with a pulse that cannot turn the ball over and get Justin Jefferson the ball. Kyler Murray, maybe he's not the starter. I think it's the great time to buy him, and maybe a few weeks in, if JJ McCarthy's not good, he's got to be one of the more valuable, second string quarterbacks. That's bubble starter, maybe. KOC. I don't know if he's ready to throw the talon on JJ yet, or if the Vikings are, but I think Kyler Murray, if given the opportunity, could do really good there in Arizona. I'm a KOC fan. I've always said that.
Yeah.
So
Trent's gonna die on the hill of like Vikings quarterbacks.
As long as KOC's there, I'll die on that hill. But you can get him the price of Kyler Murray right now. I think it's a good deal. Like, I think it's a fair, you can get him for peanuts almost, he's on a 1-year deal. If JJ, wets the bed, you got him there. And I put this one out there too. And the trades, they're not bad. Like, I think everyone we have on this list, I've, kind of put feelers out there and gotten people, showing what they've done. This guy traded Mechie, Jack Betch, and a 107 for Kyler Murray, Emmanuel Wilson, and a 210. Like, I feel like it's a bunch of throwaway stuff. The 107, maybe a little more than I'd like to spend for Kyler Murray. But D Betts sent out Ramondre and a 27 first for Murray and Hawkinson. I don't, you can trade for him is all I'm saying. I don't think it's that expensive.
I can't believe we have to deal with a third offseason in a row of Trent touting Vikings quarterbacks. Like, I just like,
when is he going to learn?
It's like we got,
I don't know.
JJ McCarthy 2 years in a row, and now we're going to get Kyler Murray. And like, Trent just touts Kyler Murray every offseason, hoping that it's going to happen. And now it's like the combination of Vikings quarterback plus Kyler Murray. It's going to be insufferable.
To work this year, though. Like,
just wait.
This year might work.
What do you think about this here? This guy traded. So this is Simon Joseph. This is a lot, probably more than anyone on here would want to do. He traded Josh Allen, but he got Kyler Murray, Nico Collins, and Breece Hall. Is that not enough? Like, is Breece Hall too much of a question mark on that? Like, Nico Collins. He
traded Josh Allen for who? Nico Collins, and
Breece Hall, and Kyler Murray.
Yeah, that's dumb. I think it's dumb, but
I don't think
unless your team's bad. If his team's bad, I think it's okay. If his team's good, I think it's dumb.
And then this guy sent a second round and a 312 and got Kyler Murray in return. So if he's 312, I think that means he won his league this year. So anyways. All right. I will throw this back over to Jordan. We got a lot of tight ends on this list, guys. I had a tight end. I actually took it off.
Yeah, I got Isaiah Likely. I think the role's pretty good. Like, again, just like Marvin Harrison Jr., I think it's a pretty talented guy. His role wasn't great this year, this past season with the Ravens, but he goes to the Giants now. And I am a Theo Johnson guy, but I just think that Isaiah Likely is super, super, super talented. And he just never was going to get that role with Mark Andrews there. So and they could run some 2 tight end sets. Like, I just think the Giants offense is something I want to buy on. Who's I'm blanking on the coach they hired.
Harbaugh. He's a Harbaugh guy.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
Yeah, and he's a Harbaugh guy. So like they got Harbaugh. There's familiarity there. And like, I think that offense takes a jump with Harbaugh. I mean, Jackson Dart, Scatabo, Neighbors. I think that's an offense that I want to buy on right now. So I don't know. They got Darnell Mooney, Slayton. Calvin Austin they signed. I like the offense. So
Yeah, the offense might
I
be
like
pretty
Likely.
good.
Yeah. And Harbaugh is a tight end guy. So like you're gonna use the tight ends. So
You're right
again,
there.
like I
And
know
also,
Theo's talented, but I think Likely's just super talented.
well, and then you have Neighbors coming off an injury where, would it shock you if a year from now, when we're talking about Mike Neighbors, where we're like, well, he was injured, like, you got to give him a year. Like sometimes those injuries take a year, like unless you're a quarterback, sometimes it's kind of like, hey, he had a big serious injury. Like it kind of takes a year to get your wheels back, So like that's kind of making me not want to go Neighbors as much this year is, it's kind of like he might be going a little high for coming off the big injury like that. We got David pouring salt in Raider fans' wounds, bringing up Jamarcus Russell here. Just absolutely rude there.
No comeback season for Jamarcus, though.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's my take on Neighbors.
That's a new
Seth,
offense. That's going to be exciting to watch, I think. Giants are going to
Yeah,
be
I
fun.
think so too.
I think Jackson Dart, it's going to be a very intriguing team. Curious to see what they do if they draft a running back, bring someone else in. But if Dart can stay healthy, if he can start sliding a little bit more, that's what it's going to come down to. So he played pretty reckless this past year.
He doesn't like
Seth,
sliding, for the record.
He does not like sliding, but I think he's going to have to. Seth, what do we got here?
So I got Colson Loveland, one of Trent's guys he's been touting, but obviously a slow start to the year, but DJ Moore's gone. So you just have Rome Odunze and you have Luther Burden, but that's Colson Loveland going up in the pecking order. He's that guy that's going to go up and get some balls. But really, if you look at his last 4 games, we get a really good perspective about what he can do, right? So week 17, week 18, finished tight end 1 and tight end 2 with 18 and 20 points, 10 targets at least in the last 4 games, including playoffs. Okay. 10 targets at least, 6 catches in the first game, 94 yards, 10 catches, 91, a touchdown. And then in the playoff games, 8 for 137 and 4 for 56, but had 10 targets that game. So I really think he is going to be a top 3 tight end next year. I think this is your chance right now to get him as low as you can get him. Like, I think you got to get him right now. Send out some feelers and see if you can get this guy. I think he's going to be a superstar. I'm going to look to draft him if I can. Thankfully I have him in my dynasty formats, but especially for dynasty, like you got to get this guy right now. Like he's 22. He's going to be, I think, a top 3 tight end this year.
A year ago, we all were thinking Warren was the number 1 guy. I think the Ben Johnson landing spot, it wouldn't shock me if he ends up being that much better, even though I think Warren can be really good too. I like both of them, but
it all depends
Loveland,
on the team you go to as well.
Yeah. Ben Johnson though, with Laporta, do we think it wouldn't, I wonder if Laporta has a nice bounce back season this year. I don't know if anyone's talked about that. Do we there's so many weapons there in Detroit. I don't know. Does he ever have that season again, like what he had when he had Ben Johnson? What do you think, Jordan?
No, I think him and J-Mo are pretty it's hard to get both of them going at the same time. So I don't know. I don't really see it with Laporta.
Yeah. It's kind of where I think if even in redraft, I would be Loveland over Laporta for sure right now.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, before we get to our app Mount Rushmore right here, my last one I got here, I have Jalen Waddle as a guy that I think you should be targeting. I think he will have less bust games. I think he'll have more boom games than bust games over here in Denver. His best years came in Miami when Tyreek Hill was on the opposite side of him. He hasn't really been the same since Tua's injury. I think this is a good fresh start for him. I think a good opportunity to buy him and get him in your lineups. And, Sutton is a lot different wide receiver than Jalen Waddle. I think it's a good spot where Bo Nix can get him involved, where Waddle can stretch the field, do some routes underneath. And I think he's a good play right here. He's going like wide receiver 26 through 28 right now in Dynasty. And I think potentially he could finish, he could go back to having another good year like he did year 2 there in Miami. Maybe the touchdowns are a little bit better. So I kind of like Waddle here. I don't know if you guys just absolutely don't like Waddle at all, if you're indifferent about Waddle. The Broncos weren't a wide receiver away from making it the Super Bowl or having a better offense. They were just a QB away. So I think it's a good addition for them, adding Waddle there. He's not the wide receiver he was drafted as, but he's not an alpha, but I think he's good alongside another good wide receiver. And I think he's different than what they have. So, and
I think it's good, Trent. I think it's gonna. Yeah, I like it.
Okay. So that is kind of some
Broncos are
dynasty
gonna be good.
targets. That's some dynasty buy targets we have there. We got Waddle, Murray, Harrison Jr., Brian Thomas Jr., Isaiah Likely, Colson Loveland. So we had 2 juniors, 2 tight ends. A little bit of camaraderie there, I would say. Apps. So when we go into apps here, Mount Rushmore of apps, like how I'm looking at this, if you could only have 4 apps left on your phone, what would we go with? Or would we say that texting and phone dialing have to be included on there because it's a phone? Because I think
why don't we just say those 2 are givens, and so let's do the other 4.
So you have to have texting and calling. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we all know we're gonna select. Like, why don't we choose 4 that aren't texting and calling? Because we all know that. Like,
okay, so we're, or we could just say a phone was intended for calling only, and you have to pick texting if you think that's important.
Yeah, sure. I just think that everyone's gonna have that, and so like it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I think Jordan's got a point. I think he's got a point saying you're gonna have calling and texting on everyone's Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, Seth is more of like a Telegram guy, though. Like he uses the app Telegram.
No.
Like it's annoying. He's like, "Hey, Trent, just message me on Telegram." I'm like, "Okay." Like I don't even have that app, Seth. So I don't. So maybe he would rather. So if you have a different messaging choice, like maybe Jordan's a WhatsApp guy. That's kind of popular internationally, and you're a traveler. Jordan,
it is popular.
WhatsApp. Yeah. So okay, we'll say you get your calling app and your messaging app.
Okay, that's
if you
it.
could have,
and so we gotta pick 4 other ones.
Yeah. Or what about if you do this? You can only have a call or text. You get to pick which community. I think most people would say texting is more important than calling now. Would you guys agree with that?
I would say that too. I would say that for sure.
Like if you had to choose between them, what would you rather have there, Seth?
Texting.
I would say texting because then you can have group texts.
Exactly. Yeah. So okay. We'll go. Those are both given. Seth, you want to go with you want to go with like 2 of yours, then we can kind of go. You go 2, Jordan goes 2, I go 2.
Sure. Okay. So I'm going to. You know what? Sure. I'm gonna go with my first app. Okay, not in no specific order. This is an app I haven't been using for very long. Okay, it's an app that came with my watch. It's the Garmin Connect app. I really like that app. I can track a bunch of different health statistics, sleep stuff. I really like it. I use it all the time.
That is the dumbest thing you could ever put on your phone.
Dumb.
You're only allowed to have 4 apps. You're going Garmin Connect, Seth? Seriously?
Yeah.
You could run and do all that stuff without that. You could use your watch, and you can use your watch and track that stuff without that.
Yeah, but you can't see all the stuff on there like you can. I use the app.
That's a horrible
Nope,
app.
it's really good.
Right. Go another one. So let's see what else you have here. You have like a macro counter or something, like
a macro counter. No, I'm gonna go
calorie counter.
No, I'm gonna go with the can the photo and camera app be the same thing, or they have to be different?
Man, that's a strong one. I'll let you combine those two because you
Okay,
can kind of
then yeah,
access.
photos slash camera. That's will be my second one.
Okay, so he has Garmin and photos. I think that's okay.
I'm just
but
looking at my phone. Okay.
the Garmin one is absolute wild card. Like you're not going to have other stuff on
Yeah,
here.
I
You go
mean-
Garmin Connect. Like okay,
That's fine. I don't need.
do you not know how to
fine.
sleep without it? It's just an interesting take.
No, I have all that stuff on my watch, but it's nice having it on my phone. I like it on there.
All right, Jordan, what are your two? Do you got like threads here, or what do we got?
I'm gonna go Safari, the Safari app.
Okay, yeah, you can kind of do everything with that. That's a little
Yeah,
bit
I
cheaper,
mean-
I'd say there.
Well, like it's to look information, right? So, and then I'm gonna go YouTube.
Okay, YouTube's a good one that I was not thinking of. That's a really good one right there.
Both
I-
those ones can pretty much get you any information to anything you need.
I think I would go YouTube over Safari. So I'm going to go
Yeah, me too.
YouTube. I'm going to go YouTube. I was not thinking YouTube. And then I'm going to go. It's not my favorite social media, but I think I got to go Facebook.
Oh my god.
Interesting.
Facebook Marketplace. You get so much great stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and you can sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Like I hate doing it, but like, if these are only 4 phones, like as much as I love X, like sometimes you want to be able to buy a quad, or sometimes you want to buy a TV, sometimes
The
you want to
thing
sell
is,
something.
I'm thinking this is like, I can only have 4 apps besides
Yeah, and you
calling
chose
and
Garmin.
texting on my phone. So it's like I'm thinking like, okay, if I want to look at other stuff, I got to be on a computer or like a smart TV or something, and I'm fine not having internet on my phone. I could just if I really need to use it, I can use my computer or something like that.
See, that's a different loophole I wasn't looking at, Seth. So I guess you found a way to cheat like you always do in life.
It's not cheating. It's not like you're not have to go without them.
So what do you? Okay, so what did I do there? I went Facebook and YouTube. Okay, Seth,
Yeah.
what are your next 2 here?
Okay, I'm gonna go with the music app, Apple Music, and I'm gonna go with Chat GPT.
So I did not see that.
The music app was not one that I was considering.
Yeah, no, not me either. Like I would have went Spotify just because you have a little bit more you can do there. You can even watch stuff on Spotify. You can listen to the dudes on Spotify.
I just like the music app, man. It's just like you got music on whenever you need it.
Yeah, Spotify though you
Then
can do
chat,
podcasts
I use that more than Safari.
Yeah, I would rather use YouTube and look at stuff though. Like if I wasn't able to do it, but like I wasn't thinking of like computer stuff though. I think we should. So Jordan, what do you have here? 2 more.
I'm gonna go. You're gonna laugh. I'm gonna go the DraftKings app.
Degenerate.
And then I'm gonna say the music one's interesting, the camera one's interesting, but I'm gonna go the maps.
No.
Maps is important. That's important. That's more important than Garmin for sure. But
Yeah. I'm gonna go with
I'm surprised you
maps.
didn't pick the clock one.
you pick the Garmin one and you wear a watch. You can access all of that on your watch. That was such a stupid.
No,
pick.
you can't. It's not detailed.
Yes, you can. I'm sure you can.
No, it's not.
That's not bad. I had maps as one for me too, Jordan. I'm gonna go maps.
And clock.
I actually, believe it or not, use a lot of the notes. I like Apple Notes a lot. I think that's a very important app.
No.
I have tons of stuff saved on there. Tons of stuff. But I'm not going to go with that because I could have a notebook and write that stuff down. You know what I'm saying? Like I do have access to other stuff. I do use AI, but I could use my computer for AI, Seth. I don't know if you thought about that. You can use a computer. So I'm going to go. With, so I said maps, and I'll go. David said settings apps. That's actually a pretty important one. It'd be kind of a bummer to not have your settings app set up there. Man, one more here. I'm going to go calendar.
Yeah,
calendar.
you're for sure a calendar guy.
That's a nice one where it just like everything's in there. I can check it. Calendar
Did you
works
say
good.
calendar. Oh my gosh.
Calendar works good, Seth. Like you don't understand.
Please tell us how you and your wife have your own calendar, please.
We have a
And you
calendar
both
we
can add to
share.
it. Yes.
I put stuff in there,
Please
so
tell
she
us.
isn't planning stuff. She puts stuff in there, so I don't plan stuff. But here's the other thing: we were sleeping on the calendar. Seth, have you ever been asked to do something you don't want to do, and you just like can't say like, oh, like I can actually look in there and be like, oh, sorry, I'm supposed to walk my dog on Thursday. Can't do it, or whatever. There's stuff that's it is a great escape to not do stuff, and it's also a reason like, oh yeah, actually I am free. I can do that. It works really nice. Calendars, the ultimate productivity hack, I would say. I am lost without the calendar. It's very good to have. If you don't have one, I don't know what you're doing. Like it is great. So anyways, that's what I got there. So, and you can't really access your computer. That's like the nicest thing to have. People have been using planners for years, Seth. Calendar right there on your phone, absolutely brilliant. So thankfully we don't have to only choose 4. Those I think are most valuable. I do think the camera app was a huge miss by me.
Yeah, I was going camera,
because like camera, you can film fights, you can film crazy things happening whenever. Like camera's a valuable one. Like I think that was the best one you had there, Seth. Jordan's best one, I think maps. I piggybacked off of that. Maps is very important. My best one, what else did I say here? Like, I think you guys are sleeping on Facebook Marketplace. Like Seth was hating on that, but he has a Facebook solely for Facebook Marketplace. You can talk to people on there. There's a lot of stuff you can do. And I even think Jordan's YouTube one was good too. I think we can all agree Garmin was the stupidest one. Jordan, do you agree with that?
It was bad.
No, you guys suck for saying that. That's messed up.
So, anyways,
it's not the worst one. I'm
that
sorry.
is
I'm
the
the only one who
dumbest-
has
that
some
is
like
the-
out. I'm sorry. I'm the only one who has some like variety.
No.
Trent picking the
And then the
clock
music
app
one, the
and a
music
freaking
one,
calendar.
the music one might be a close second because you could have went Spotify and had like audiobooks. You could have had all kinds
some
of
people
stuff.
don't use Spotify, Trent.
I don't use
Spotify.
I use
Apple
Spotify for
Music.
podcasts. That's it.
I know, but you could have so much more. You could have podcasts, music, audiobooks.
I'm
There's
sorry,
so much
you
more
didn't
wrapped
think
into that.
outside the box, and you could just use your computer for everything you're not using on your phone.
All right,
Bam.
Garmin Fit. Anyways,
Clock boy.
a clock would have. Hey, honestly, a lot of people.
I use the
Probably-
clock. I use the clock one every time for an alarm. I use it all the time.
Imagine
I know.
opening your
I used
phone
a
and
lot.
it
I
never
literally
telling you the
wouldn't wake
time.
up
That
if
would
I
be
didn't have the clock
miserable.
app.
Absolutely miserable to open up your phone and never have the clock. Coleman, we really could have used this. Yeah. Seth is doing a marathon. Yeah. One of Seth's Mount Rushmore apps, Coleman, was the Garmin app. Absolutely. If you only had 4
I
apps on your
use
phone, that's
it
not
all the time.
I don't give a rat's prayer if you never that is not a top 4 app. No one in the
It's a
world,
top
the
4
people
app
at
in
Garmin
my
wouldn't
book.
say that.
Clearly, your top 4 app use a calendar. You literally have a calendar. I could get a physical calendar and do it what you have.
You could log your miles physically on a piece of paper.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
No.
Anyways.
No.
All right. Honestly though, if a phone was bare bones, you probably would want the clock app. That's probably honest truth.
Yeah.
If
If it was a blank screen,
it was a blank screen, you would want the
yeah,
clock
I'd want
app.
the clock app if it was a blank screen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I want to clock you in the face, you moron. Anyways, that is all we have. Not
The
sure if we're
clock
coming
app,
next week
calendar.
or not. We will see you guys next time. And as always, take care.